think he's smarter than me. So I don't want to focus on it being like about Jake. Oh, Jake's small, so that makes me confident. Jake's this, so that makes me confident. I'm just focused on myself. I'm confident in myself. Jake could be 10th, I'm confident in myself. That's what it's not about how he is.
It's long run.
You do some pads today?
Yes, sir. I do some pads. Yeah, we're going to do some pads today. And then technique and all that stuff. You know? No fight is easy. No matter how hard you train and how you just got to get lucky. So what we're training for now is just to get lucky.
Jake Paul and Anthony Joshua are pushing themselves harder than ever as fight night approaches. With only 5 days remaining, AJ hones his power, endurance, and technique, while Jake concentrates on speed, timing, and precision. In his camp, Jake exudes full confidence, studying every move and preparing to shock the world, firmly believing that his training will give him the edge once the bell rings.
It's a harder challenge for me. People had a lot of excuses against Gervonta and, oh, it's a smaller guy, blah, 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 the weight difference. And now I flip-flop the roles. Everyone thinks I'm gonna die and they don't know what I'm capable of. And so being the underdog and being able to go in there and showcase what I'm gonna do to Anthony is more exciting for me.
Anthony Joshua steps into training fully aware that no fight comes without challenges. He acknowledges Jake Paul as a formidable opponent and approaches every session with unwavering focus and intensity. Perfecting his technique, power, and endurance, AJ pushes himself harder than ever before. Every punch, every drill is deliberate, every movement precise. His determination is unmistakable, he's leaving nothing to chance. Joshua prepares meticulously for the bout, treating Jake Paul with the seriousness and respect that any true competitor deserves.
Much work goes into them sessions. It's going to be a tough fight. No fight is easy. No matter how hard you train and how you just got to get lucky. So what we're training for now is just to get lucky. Miss a punch that could have hurt, catch him with a punch that's going to hurt him. So it's kind of like...
As the countdown to one of the most unexpected bouts in boxing history draws nearer, Jake Paul radiates unwavering confidence. In a recent interview, Paul openly claimed that he can knock out Anthony Joshua, pointing to AJ's past vulnerabilities. He noted how Joshua has been hurt by smaller opponents before, suggesting that the former heavyweight champion is not invincible. Jake expressed certainty that he has the power to land punches capable of making a serious impact, asserting that his training has equipped him with both the skill and confidence to shock the world. This bold declaration has set the tone for a fight eagerly anticipated by fans, analysts, and critics alike. A crucial element of this matchup is the psychological battle. Paul's public statements about knocking out Joshua serve two purposes: boosting his own confidence while planting seeds of doubt in his opponent. In contrast, Joshua's calm and methodical approach reflects a seasoned understanding of managing hype and external pressure. This mental tug-of-war is a key aspect of boxing, where maintaining composure under stress can be as decisive as physical ability. Analysts have emphasized that the psychological dimension of the fight is as compelling as the physical clash, adding depth to what might otherwise be viewed purely as a spectacle.
Styles make fights, we all know that. He's lost to guys who are shorter mostly and lighter mostly, and faster than him. I see holes in his game. I see punches that I can land that can hurt him. Now, he can definitely land punches on me, knock me out. He's more experienced, Olympic gold medalist, two-time heavyweight champion of the world. This is definitely insane. I have to fight a perfect fight to be able to beat this guy, but I think that I'm capable of that. And to me, at the end of the day, all of this is experience, all of this is fun, all of this is getting in there and continuing to improve my skills as I work toward a world championship in my own weight class. I'm fighting at heavyweight.
No, we lost him. They're trying to bog him down.
At the end of the day, I'm going in there and I'm getting better.
You're fighting at heavyweight. You cut off real quickly whenever you said you're fighting at heavyweight. How much weight is that more? How much heavier are you fighting at this for this particular fight?
Yes, I'm fighting like 50 pounds out of my weight class. Normally I fight at 200 and Anthony Joshua will be around 250.
Okay, so this fight's happening. There's people that have mentioned, like, there's no way this fight is actually happening, just strictly because of what you just said right there. I mean, the weight difference, everything else, signing up for this because you're supposed to fight somebody else, Tank backs out, now you fight Anthony Joshua. I think there's a lot of people that think this is all some gimmick because of what you just said right there. This is not the case. You understand that you're going in there with a man who's not supposed to fight somebody that is at your weight. He's supposed to be fighting heavier people that are bigger people, which in theory, stronger people, maybe more durable people. There's weight classes for a reason. In your mind, that is just, hey, this is a challenge I need to take on. That's kind of the mindset that you've taken?
Yeah, for sure. The fight is definitely happening first and foremost. We're 9 days away right now. But at the end of the day, I like...
David Haye and Johnny Nelson analyzed the high stakes surrounding the Jake Paul versus Anthony Joshua fight, highlighting the pressure on both fighters. They noted that Joshua cannot afford anything less than a flawless performance. Unlike Paul, Joshua must dominate from the opening round, deliver powerful and precise punches, and avoid being clipped, pushed back, or hurt. Any mistake could harm his reputation, as he is expected to uphold his legacy as a former world champion. Haye and Nelson emphasized that the pressure on Joshua is immense, since this fight is crucial for him to secure a decisive victory and maintain credibility. In contrast, Jake Paul faces far fewer expectations. Entering the ring as the underdog, any success Paul achieves is seen as remarkable. The analyst stressed that while Paul is taking a significant risk by challenging a heavyweight champion, Joshua must execute near perfectly to meet public and professional expectations.
Joshua needs to win in the first round and win devastating. He can't be getting clipped with shots, he can't get him pushed back. He has to have the cleanest performance
and if it
of his
lasts
whole
that long,
career.
Jake Paul needs to be holding on to it for dear life to last that long.
Yeah, so
Jake Paul commercially has just as much to lose and can affect his commercial elevation if he does anything less than be his best. Commercially, he doesn't need Jake Paul.
I think the pressure's on Jake Paul. The pressure's not on Anthony Joshua. Sorry, the pressure's on Anthony Joshua. The pressure is not on Jake Paul because no one's expecting Jake Paul to do anything. So he's free. Whatever happens, he's gone out there and done something extraordinary. He's put himself in harm's way, to try to achieve this crazy goal. So but Anthony Joshua, on the other hand, he's only doing it for the cash, for the money, and that's cool.
Yeah.
But he can't look bad. He can't get knocked down. He can't get a cut. He can't be missing wildly. He has to have a punch-perfect performance to justify, just like Ngannou. If he has the same performance against Ngannou,
Job's done.
The job's done. But is he going to be motivated enough to be able to switch on? Because he was razor sharp. I was there at ringside with you watching that fight, and that was as sharp as I've seen AJ look.
And the other thing is, Ngannou looked scary. Jake Paul doesn't.
Yeah.
And Ngannou was thick and
big
that
man,
wide.
big man.
I was interviewing him, so next I'm thinking, damn, you're getting in with him.
Yeah.
And you're now thinking, if this guy gets one shot off, Jake Paul doesn't have any of that about him. So you're not looking at him thinking, he might get a
if you
shot.
look at Jake Paul's training footage, he puts out snippets all over his kind of social media and on YouTube. It looks like
Both fighters have been pushing themselves to the limits in their respective training camps. Analysts like Henry have examined Jake Paul's preparation, noting that while his heavy bag work is impressive, it doesn't necessarily translate to real fight scenarios against a seasoned opponent like Anthony Joshua. Striking a bag with power is one thing, facing a world-class heavyweight is another. Henry cautioned fans to manage their expectations, pointing out that Paul's flashy training highlights may make him look ready, but the true test will come once he steps into the ring with AJ. Meanwhile, Joshua has been training with meticulous attention to every detail. Even after periods of inactivity, he remains a powerhouse, focusing on endurance, precision, and defensive technique. His camp demonstrates that experience and skill development are crucial in preparing for a fight of this magnitude. The contrast between Paul's unconventional preparation and Joshua's traditional heavyweight training sets up a compelling narrative, highlighting the clash of styles and backgrounds.
So look at the technique. He actually might cause problems. The sort of wide-eyed emoji. Is he going to cause an upset? Now look, I don't give two shits how you look on the heavy bag. I'm going to be very honest with you. Do you know how many guys I see in the boxing gym I train in who look absolutely sensational on the heavy bag and then wouldn't last 2 seconds against Anthony Joshua? The thing that the average person fails to understand is that looking good on the heavy bag, sure, it means you have a fundamental understanding of boxing technique, and clearly Jake has improved in that area. You'd hope so after years and years of training. But the thing that people don't understand about boxing is when you actually get in the ring with someone who's trying to beat you, who's trying to punch you in the face and break you, suddenly holding that shape becomes much, much more difficult when you're getting hit by shots, when you're taking them to the guard, when you're having to move your legs constantly, and more importantly, as you get tired. Even the best pros start to lose their shape when fatigue kicks in. That's why more knockouts can happen later as the fight goes on. But yeah, I did think he looked nice on the heavy bag. He was moving his feet well, his balance looked good, his hand positioning was good when he was throwing, his chin was tucked in, all the things you really look for in basic technique. Open hell of being Anthony Joshua? Absolutely not. But at the same time, I'll admit I understand what the hype is about. He looked pretty nice in that clip, but many people can, is my point. The final thing to address is this rumor that's been going around. I think it was Johnny Nelson who started it, that Don Charles has been brought into Jake Paul's training camp. There's been some news articles about it, but to be honest with you, I've not seen any photos, I've not seen any footage. I've seen absolutely nothing to indicate that Don Charles has been part of that camp. And in fact, Don Charles was tagged in a photo on Instagram a few days ago at an event he was at a boxing gym near Watford in the UK. So clearly he's not been actually involved in the camp. Will Jake Paul fly him out for fight week to try and disrupt Anthony Joshua? I mean, it's entirely possible. Obviously, Don Charles...
Former world champion Pauli Malignaggi has been outspoken about the dynamics of this fight. While acknowledging Jake Paul's dedication to training and sparring, Malignaggi emphasized that preparation alone may not be enough against a fighter of Anthony Joshua's caliber. He pointed out that Joshua remains a powerful force, highlighting that his raw strength, experience, and composure under pressure cannot be underestimated. Malignaggi's analysis reinforces the notion that victory is far from guaranteed for Paul, despite his confidence and high-profile promotional efforts. Insights from a veteran boxer add credibility and perspective, reminding fans that boxing is a sport where preparation meets reality under the bright lights of the ring. The buzz around the fight has reached unprecedented levels, attracting attention from mainstream media, social platforms, and casual fans alike. Paul's crossover appeal as a social media personality has amplified the event's reach, while Joshua's championship pedigree ensures that hardcore boxing followers are watching closely. This collision of celebrity and elite sport has created a narrative blending entertainment, risk, and technical skill. As the fight approaches, public discussion is increasingly focused on who will dominate and whether Paul's confidence can translate into tangible results against a heavyweight with a proven track record.
I wouldn't consider him shot or anything, and even a shot AJ would still, would still likely beat a Jake Paul in my eyes. But I don't necessarily see AJ as a shot fighter at all, And also, the thing about AJ is he's a rather serious guy. This is not Chavez Jr., So he takes anything he does very seriously. He's got a backbone to him. He's got a character to him. So, he's not gonna let himself be clowned by, allowing Jake to survive or allowing Jake to play around or allowing Jake to, just make him look bad in general. So that's the thing about AJ. If you know his character, I've worked a lot of AJ fights and I've been around AJ enough, to kind of observe his character. This is a very serious human being and man, and he takes this kind of stuff very personally and very seriously, so he's not going to be looking to make a mockery of himself. And so from that perspective, I don't see a guy like AJ going easy on Jake at all.
He's going in there to knock him out, and anything less, it's going to be a disappointment to him. So does he knock him out?
I mean, yeah, he knocked out Ngannou, right? And I think most people would think Ngannou is better than Jake, right? I mean, you saw what he did to Ngannou. He cut through Ngannou like it was nothing, like a hot knife through butter. So yeah, I mean, I would expect nothing less. We'll see. We'll see how they go. I mean, obviously, you give Jake some credit for having the balls to do this. But then again, Jake is also doing what we all used to say when I was my age, and Shmo, you're a little younger than me. When we were kids, and then we would joke around, and Mike Tyson was the big deal. We would all say, for $1 million, I get in the ring with Mike Tyson. Well, I guess for $90 million, Jake's gonna get in the ring with AJ. So I think that's what the equivalent of it is. So is it bravery? Is it just, hey, you give me?
The boxing world has been buzzing with opinions about the fight, with some questioning its safety and legitimacy. Promoter Eddie Hearn even joked about banning Paul, reflecting both the humor and genuine concern surrounding the matchup. Gareth A. Davies, a respected boxing journalist, called it a freak show, underlining the potential risks to Joshua's legacy. Davies noted that a loss or injury could seriously affect AJ's reputation, stressing that while Paul's rise is entertaining, the bout carries significant stakes for a former world champion. Commentary like this highlights that beyond the spectacle, the fight has serious implications for Joshua, heightening the tension and anticipation for the event.
Well, I've been hammered by Eddie Hearn and Nikisa Bidarian over my Telegraph columns on this. And I don't think I've said anything out of order or out of the ordinary, which is probably shouldn't be licensed. It's a very dangerous fight for Jake Paul. He's delusionally optimistic about this. He's probably too brave for his own good. Physically, I think it's a dangerous fight for him. I hope he gets hurt to the body and stopped, not knocked out horribly like Francis Ngannou was. I don't think it will be licensed in the UK. Imagine Tommy Fury, who beat him, getting licensed to fight Anthony Joshua in the UK. Couldn't see it. Spoke to Robert Smith of the boxing board, who said he wouldn't license it. And I also said that Anthony Joshua could destroy his legacy if something goes wrong, and perhaps it demeans boxing. I wrote those things in 2 Telegraph columns. Eddie Hearn said he was banning me, but thankfully I've got a credential.
It's not his show, is it?
It's not his show, it's MVP's show, and Nikisa Badarian stuck it on me at the press conference out there a little bit, to said, why are you going against the promotion? All I said was, and I said it after the press conference, Anthony Joshua's taking this really seriously. It's a circus show. It's a freak show. We've seen this in boxing in the past. I don't see a way how Jake Paul wins, but I still need to be there. If the tree falls in the forest and you're not there to witness it, does it make a sound? So I'm looking forward to being...
While Jake Paul steps into the ring full of confidence, the spotlight and pressure fall squarely on Anthony Joshua. Both Duke McKenzie and Johnny Nelson emphasized that the greater risk in this matchup lies with the former heavyweight champion. Joshua must deliver peak performance while also safeguarding his legacy against an opponent who thrives on unpredictability. McKenzie highlighted the mental aspect, pointing out that Joshua faces scrutiny not only from fans but from the wider boxing community, where expectations are immense for a fighter of his stature. This clash of pressure versus confidence sets up a compelling dynamic, with Joshua's experience pitted against Paul's bold self-assurance.
1% of 1% think Jake Paul has got a chance. And anybody else that tells you differently, they're lying. They don't really think he's going to do it. So you're going to watch this to see, most people watch this to see Jake Paul get his arse given to him. In reality, and they'll also watch it to see how AJ is. Because AJ, he's done it many times before, he's dropped the ball, he's not performed to the best of his ability, and lost or got knocked out. Daniel Dubois, Andy Ruiz, I think when he boxed Usyk, you can't blame him for that because Usyk was outstanding. But he can do it. So people are thinking, his last fight we saw him on his face against Dubois. And so the question marks above AJ's head. Right. Which AJ will turn up. And even if the wrong AJ turns up, he should still beat Jake Paul. Now, if my worry is AJ going into the fight and underestimating Jake Paul. And it's hard, it's like you've boxed before, where your original opponent pulls out, they throw a standing in, and you think, and your performance is worse because you can't bring your A game to it because you think, shit, the kid's not very good. You get rid of him, but it's harder than what it should be in real life. Right. And so I think with AJ, he'll struggle to respect Jake Paul as a threat. And so they're going to be watching AJ. And if Jake Paul gets 15 seconds of success, AJ is going to get vilified. AJ's, oh my goodness. So people are saying he wants to go out there and knock him out. No, he doesn't want to go out there and knock him out. He wants to teach this boy a lesson and torture him. If you're not into boxing and you're hearing this, you think, oh my God, it sounds barbaric. He needs to torture him. We spar with people where you just hit him, dig him in the ribs, and you let him off, leave him breathe, but dig him again, and you make him want to go down, and you punch him back up again. He needs to torture him. Right. So he says, no mas, no mas. That's what he needs to do. And that way, he'll satisfy the public, he'll satisfy himself.
That's it for today's video. Stay tuned until next time.